So, allow me to regale you with the story of a place named Valley Fair. Coming up, it was on the border of Newark and Irvington, New Jersey, and it was a flea market type area where there was clothing, a pet store, an arcade, a food, a little food court. It was a nice little spot, but it shut down I think in 2002, and it lay dormant for like 14, 15 years. Now it's a Planet Fitness and a Value Zone and the like, but the reason it had remained dormant for oh so long was because the insurance, like the people who had purchased it wanted it to be like some high end, place where there was Rolexes and and like Neiman Marcus and Saks Fifth Avenue. They were really inspiring for that type of atmosphere, but the problem is that the location was directly between Newark and Irvington, which you want to pick up that energy? Let's keep going with this video. So kids, let's talk about a little thing called insurance, right? When your store is located someplace with a very specific demographic, the insurance rates go up, and when the insurance rates go up, basically that really amounts on the cost of doing business. So thusly, things are more expensive, and it's going to take more to run that business. They're going to have to charge a little bit more for the services that they're rendering because the insurance is so high, because the likelihood of having something like this happen to your place of business, which will always cost the business owner money, it kind of comes to a point like, is it even really worth it? There's a lot of people who are out there talking about food deserts, how urban communities don't have food that don't have the best food and things like that. But in reality, when you break reality down, right? If the likelihood of something like this taking place in your shop or your business is just so much higher, then why would any business in their right mind want to operate there?
Come on, baby.
She knew I was pregnant.
Oh, so what was the Tessa Majors, I believe? In that video, I brought up how, the environment that these children come up in, the environment that these individuals came up in, like she's talking about how she's pregnant, like right now, and they wilding out. It's just she's like this. And what do you think all of this stems from? Anything important? Like the people who are, trying to make breakthroughs in cancer and cell regeneration and things like that, if those were the people having these types of fights, I'd actually be more inclined to be like, yeah, let them scrap it on out, because shoot, that's the science that we need. All this is more than likely over some dusty schmeat.
Look, Shorty, I gotta deal with this shit.
That's what I feel for the worst. My man's like, I gotta deal with this. This is why, personally, I don't believe in wilding out like this, because someone else who's not getting paid nowhere near enough to deal with it is going to be the one that has to deal with it. But I don't know. I guess it's my empathy kicking in. Just like, you know what, man? I ain't trying to ruin your day, bruh. like I'm gonna let you live, because you're not even if I'm upset with the owner or the boss, I'm upset with the owner or the boss. I'm not upset with the individual in front of me that's just doing their freaking job.
Y'all good? She said there she goes. Motherfuckers know I'm pregnant, though.
Oh my goodness, she had that beautiful grammar. Motherfucker, you are
lame as fuck.
Oh, man, y'all gotta go, man.
You could have easily came outside and fought my sister. That was some weird ass shit. And that bitch knew I was pregnant. She said, there she go right there. Fuck, Tammy, what's that ass?
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, I mean, like y'all all know that y'all pregnancies really don't matter to the next chick, right? Like, because it should be that. Oh yeah, that should be a pass. Back in the day, there was the rule, truces on Sundays because that's the day of the Lord, and we going or let it rock. I mean, but that's the thing; those past things that we once will look upon for tradition, yeah, they're gone. So as far as, oh yeah, you're not supposed to attack me, I'm pregnant. Nah, like all the rules are off the table in 2020, fam. And that's the thing. This is like generations of this stuff. I mean, she's just doing what a nana did, what a mama did, what her nana's nana did, and that child that she's pregnant with is more than likely to continue that cycle of just chaos incarnate, bending to the feminine whims. That's really what it's all boils down to. Like in the West, particularly in our urban zones, we have been to the feminine whim for so long that they wild out and they go nuts, and then they complain that, oh my goodness, we don't have good food to eat and stuff like that. When in reality, you put a Whole Foods in a community like this, guess what? Whole Foods has to come out of pocket for the insurance, which is something that that doesn't connect, that connection doesn't end up there. It's a big part of the reason why things are so much more expensive now than they were, back in the day, is because they have to make up for that cost in the insurance and because a whole lot of the world that we live in is based on speculation, whether you realize it or not. Like even like the NASDAQ and the Dow and the Jones and stuff like that. That's all some person or entity, I don't know, out there speculating, trying to look ahead, trying to see into the futures. I think that's like a part of it too, like futures and seeing what's going ahead. And that's really all that is. The stock market and the like is just trying to look ahead, and looking ahead when you put your business in a Newark, put your business in the South Ward of Newark, though it's far more likely for incidents like this to take place where, you're going to end up having to replace a whole bunch of product and the like to then putting it in some, like, let's say in Des Moines, Iowa. All right. Like I'm just saying, though, the likelihood because of the demographics is very it's something to take account in. It's something to take a part of. But when you hear a lot of the people of these communities complaining about the issues, they're just like, oh, well, they white man make sure we ain't got no good food to eat. And it's like, well, have you been paying attention to what's taking place, to why these types of spots have abandoned these areas?
Lame as fuck. That's what kids like to say. Come out the door and talk that shit. Come out the door and talk that shit, bitch. Come out the door. Fuck you mean? It's my baby. Come out the door. Come out the door. Your auntie house is flooded. Behind.
See, and so it's like, when I say it, I do not try to denigrate women. I really don't. I love y'all. You guys are amazing, but you also, let's be real, there are flaws in your game, and you guys can go completely nuts, can be completely irrational. This woman right here, like even one woman saying how she's pregnant, the other one was like, "Come on, we're behind the door. Let's fight. I don't care. I don't care." And it's just like that's a mindset and a mentality that just really should not be given any kind of positive attention. I know technically I'm giving it attention here, but nah, I think it's different. I think it's not the same.
You are safe with all your life now, all y'all. I'm gonna keep my sister.
Okay, I just read that this took place in Minnesota. Oh Lord, what happened, Minnesota? Like from Ilhan Omar to like this right here, like what happened to you, Minnesota? I thought Minnesota when I was coming up was like one of the whitest places on earth, at least to my mindset. But then again, it's like you have to actually go out to these places and visit them, because if you were to only think of Chicago, right? You think of black people, you think of Bernie Mac, and you think of like, just Chicago and black people and gangs and gun violence and the like. But when you actually go out to Chicago and you see how really Spanish it is, I mean, there's a lot of Espanol going on in Chicago. Like, oh, wait a second, it's not quite what you thought it once was. But we once thought that Minnesota was this, just a lily white state, but nah, not really. Like I said, that urban poison spreads far and fast.
Damn. Yeah, folks, like, man, I don't even be wanting to put my hands on females, boy, but this. Hey, bud, I'm sorry,
What he say? Man, you gonna come on here anymore? You want to see this?
Oh, it's for the night. Oh, this is a done deal. Let's get in, King, boy. This shit. Oh, my fucking God, boy. Oh, my fucking God, boy. Oh, my God, bro.
So yeah, he's stuck having to clean that up, and I feel bad for my man, even though I don't understand the word that he's saying. But let's go back to leave this right here as our parting image as we wrap this video on up. But yeah, so when you wonder, hey, what's wrong with urban America? We've allowed the whims of the feminine to just go buck wild. And you end up with stuff like this, particularly, really, Minnesota? Really? Like that? I don't know. But either ways, that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, go ahead and do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice. And we get videos like this every single day. Share because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute and like are the biggest fans of you boy over here for reasons pretty obvious. And speak. Let me bang the bell for notifications, so whenever your boy is dropping that fire, because I do it every day, man. I mean, we having fun over here. We just hit 500. I got to do a sub special. Really appreciate you guys coming through. It means the world. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? And speaking of comments, man, I got to get to those. But yeah, like, am I wrong? Once again, if you think I'm wrong, that's what my comment section is for. I know I have a ton of comments that I haven't gotten to yet, but I will in due time. Thank you so much for watching. And let me know what you think in the comments. Till the next one.